Let's welcome Mr. Eric, psychologist, and Miss Lily, counselor, as they share more about Mindfulness Programme.
Okay, today we will go through on 3 aspects, okay?
Excuse me, how can we pronounce the name of your organization?
It's called Brahm Center, Brahm. Yeah, we are actually located in Rensi Hospital, the third story. Okay, we conduct mindfulness courses for various the elderly and yes.
I'm interested to know the meaning of Brahm.
Well, it is a name, but actually it's the founder's teacher's name, Ajahn Brahm. But actually she also, because being a secular organization, we sometimes say B represent Buddhist, R represent Roman Catholic, A Anglican, H Hindu, M is Muslim. Okay. Yeah.
How do you BW, your organization, BW?
It's a charity organization. It's non-religion. Okay? So, okay, is that all right? Have I explained? So we are going to go through 3 parts. It's like the awareness of our body and mind, and also applying mindfulness in caring, and also we will have some experiential kind of mindfulness practice at the end, okay? So, I just need to have a show of hand. How many of you are caregiver? How many of you are caregivers? Okay. And how many of you are is a care recipient, which means you are a patient? Okay, both. Some people have 2 hands. Huh? Yeah. Okay, so well, it is applicable for both care recipient as well as caregivers. Okay, in fact, it is suitable for everybody, in the sense that we have people, if Eric conduct courses for very, very young people, as well as we have 70, 80 years old adult as well, okay. So let's try to know about how does your body and mind feel right now, okay? So think about this. How does your body and mind feel right now? If you find, maybe let's just do a small exercise. You just close your eyes. Maybe it's easier. Okay, just close your eyes lightly, and then you feel your body, sense your body. Close your eyes. If you can't close your eyes, just lower your gaze. Okay, so feel your body. Observe the sensation of your body. Okay? Now, feel your mind. Observe what is inside your mind. How does your mind feel? Okay, thank you. You may open your eyes. Okay, so can I have some response that, okay, how do you feel? Is there any observation that you have in your body? Oh, who wanted? Yes?
My body feels at ease, my mind feels peaceful.
So, okay, that's good. So, but your body feel what?
Ease.
Yeah, ease, okay. So it's very relaxed, huh? Coming here is very relaxed. What about?
My body is relaxed, but my brain is kanchong.
Manjung kancong. Yeah, kancong, huh? Yeah. So actually, yes. What about this side? Anybody? Relax. Wow. So we have a relaxed group here. Okay. In fact, actually, sometimes when we conduct session for caregivers, we realize that actually a lot of people may not be really connected to their body. Actually, our body sometimes tells us things. Sometimes when we are so stressed, it may actually manifest in our body. Okay? So, asking you to just close your eyes and you observe your body sensation. In a way, is we try to tune you, your mind, and your body together. Okay? Okay, so anxious. Y'all are not anxious, lah, huh? But can you imagine, okay, anxious, angry, wow, Eric get all this picture. Hurt and happy. Okay, maybe start with happy, lah. So when we are happy, how do you feel?
Healthy
Healthy.
and 没有问题.
Yeah, 没问题, very good. His Mandarin has become very good. Right. So your body, how do you feel the body? Light, yes. Okay, so that is a happy state. If let's say we become anxious, kanchong, okay, heavy, and then
Worry,
panic. Sometimes, Sometimes we feel panic, yeah. And then sometimes we feel, our heartbeat, faster, yeah, correct. Okay. What about hurt? When you feel hurt, sad, yeah. So heaviness, right? Heaviness. So angry.
I feel hungry.
So, yeah, a hungry man is an angry man. Yeah. So, okay, angry. Sometimes we feel that, when we're in a situation where certain people just push our button, it just triggers us, right? Yeah, just triggers or what? The look at that person, we already feel angry already with that person, maybe. So we sometimes feel our blood boiling. Some people say we feel boiling. Wow, tension. Yeah, maybe you feel very headache here, right? Yeah, very stiff headache here, right? So all this we are talking about our mind and how it affects our body. It is so wired, so connected, okay? But sometimes we don't know. Very often we don't know that we don't feel our body. I recently fall down, and then I realized that this is very painful. It's only then I feel my knee. Before that, I don't, right? Sometimes we wait for people until we got sick, then we realize that, this part is painful, that part is painful. Yes?
Are these negative emotions triggered by our feelings or by the brain?
Negative emotion,
These negative emotions like
yes,
triggered by the brain or by your feelings?
is triggered by your mind. Okay. So, there are different ways of looking at it, but of course we are talking about our body, and the mind is how we feel, and also the thoughts is in our mind. Okay? So actually it's all very connected. It is all very connected. So, but very often we only take care of physical health. We sick, then we go and see doctor. Okay, we stress, we think it's normal. So we go on with life. Right? So it is not true. So sometimes stress will cause you to become sick physically. Yeah. Okay? So stress, I think in Singapore, I think a lot of people stressful. Huh? So what happens when you are stressed? So what is the body sensation?
With my experience,
Yes.
I have palpitation
Yes.
and the pressure will go up. Then I get angry.
Okay, so angry is feelings, huh?
Yes.
So but your feeling, your body sensation is palpitation,
Palpitation, the
and
pressure is
pressure
going
goes
up.
up. Yes. Okay? Other people?
If you are constantly stressed,
Yes.
does that the mind will not be able to tell you that you're stressed? Because you're so stressed all the time. So how will you kind of
Later, Eric will go through with you about how come now, people are so stressful and we having a lot of problems. It's because our mechanism of the stress state is forever on. In the past, we only on it when we are in crisis. But now we are always in crisis. So it's always on, never off. So when you never off, it causes problem. Okay? So we need to rest. It's just that machine also need to rest, right? Okay? So is there other body sensation that you can feel when you are stressed?
Shivering.
Shivering. Okay? Tension, yes. Tightness. Shoulder. Sometimes you feel, wow. Yeah? Okay. So, what about the thoughts? For example, maybe we make it in the right context. Okay, so now we are talking about it is you are the caregiver context or maybe a care recipient context, right? So now, what are your thoughts when you are sick or when you need to take care of somebody, your loved one, seeing them become frail? What is your thought?
Feeling trouble.
Feeling trouble. Okay, feeling trouble, feeling burden. Yeah. What else?
Worries.
Worry. Yeah, worry. Worry is a bit about feeling. Okay, thoughts.
Giving up.
Giving up. Okay, you want to give up. So, any thoughts? Okay, so, you have something to say?
Fear that they might not be feeling well.
Yes. Fear that they may not recover. Fear about maybe not enough money to take care of the medical bills. Maybe also the thought about why me? Why got so many people? Why I got cancer? You know, why so many people have stroke, right? And then why I'm the only person who need to take care of my mother? I got so many siblings, right? I'm not even her favorite, but I need to take care, right? So the feelings, what are the feelings?
Feeling depressed.
Feeling depressed, feeling
Mood swing.
mood swing,
Moody.
yeah, moody actually, yeah. Anything else? Sometimes we feel guilty also, right? As a caregiver, whether have you done enough or not? Maybe we didn't do enough. That's why we very weak, then suddenly fall down in a corner. You know, so you feel very guilty. Did I take care of my mom? Or when sometimes, you are the only person who's taking care of your mom in Singapore. There are siblings in all over the world. Then they will say, how can you let mom fall down? Oh, wow, that kind of feeling, right? What is that? Being accused. So you are angry. What is this man, right?
But that is negative feeling.
That is the negative feeling. So when we are stressed, we have all this negativity, the feelings, the thoughts. Yeah.
Because you cannot think properly.
Yeah, because we are stressed. All these things. So that's why what we are going through now is when we are stressed, how our body feels, how is our thought, and how is our feeling. That is what we are trying to get. Actually, it's negative. So when we are in this state, so how can make ourselves become okay? How can we better care for ourselves?
Stress management.
Yes, that's one. That's correct.
How to switch off when you leave the workplace, you just switch off.
Switch off. But sometimes caregiving very difficult to switch off, because you were there 24/7. Even you got a maid, you also take it to care. You worry about the care, thinking about money, worry about a lot of things. Okay, that's the research that says, the wandering mind is actually a very stressful mind. I'm not sure whether you notice that sometimes our mind, we are always in autopilot. You know what is autopilot? Autopilot means like cruise control. When we drive, we put cruise control, we just drive. So we don't have to do anything, we just drive straight. So, like for example, when you come from MRT to Tan Tock Seng Hospital, you're very familiar, you just walk. So, exactly what happened, you also don't know. Yeah. So sometimes we eat, finish already at one whole bowl. Okay, so we do a lot, because then we multitasking, watch YouTube, eat, Because these days when people are very, what do you call it, multitask, supposed to be a good word, but actually it means that we are all over the place. And very often, it's not just physical, we are in our mind. Our mind is very busy. We are not staying in the present moment. What are we thinking? We're thinking about the past. What happened? All of that. And what we also worry about future. What's going to happen? You know what is going to happen? Can I last so long enough? You know, can I really take care of her, him? So all this mind, so our mind has been like chattering always. So we are not staying in the present. So actually today when we talk about mindfulness, we are actually, the practice will teach us how to stay in the present moment. So when we are able to stay in the present moment, then we are less stressed. So we have lesser negative thoughts.
No problem.
Yeah.
Guarantee. We need to have a logical programming of our mind, how to do.
Yeah. So
Less stress.
correct. So later Eric will teach you a little bit, okay, not a lot, but some techniques of how to just stay in the present moment. Let's just stay in the present moment.
This can divert our thinking,
Distract our thinking.
distract or divert our thinking.
Okay, distract our thinking is one way of coping. Some people distract and then kind of thing.
Divert
But, yeah.
the negative to positive.
Yeah. So, but I think the more important thing is actually we realize that we are stressful and then we stay with it rather than run away. Run away, you cannot run away, I follow you. Okay? We always say, no stress, don't stress. Okay, everything will be okay. Are you sure? Yeah, come back, yes.
Tackle the problem.
Is it similar or same as meditation?
Yes, it is similar to meditation. Yes.
For me, I will go to God.
Yes.
And
Yeah, the spiritual.
and then, yeah, the spiritual and knowing the promises in the Bible, whatever, it helps me to stay in because man cannot do anything but God can. So in that way, you can stay peaceful and calm and face the situation, whatever that arises.
Yes. So there is a lot of people have gone through like religion, spiritual. Spiritual may not necessarily mean religion, but whoever just find that the way that if you are able to connect. I mean, through God, you are able to connect back, and then you feel maybe somebody else can help. God can take care of you from them, so you don't have to worry so much. But if let's say for people who have no religion, or they feel that it's too stressful, I'm the only one who is dealing this all by myself. So to transform, actually what we are saying is let's stay in the present moment. So we are using the mindfulness. And then as caregiver and care recipient, okay, self-care is very important. There's this saying that says, I have come to believe that caring for myself is not self-indulgent. Caring for myself is an act of survival. It is very, very crucial for us, caregivers, to do self-care. Okay? If we care so much, we only care for our loved one, we didn't care for ourselves, really, we are not really helping them. Take time off, take respite, going to do something else. It's not a selfish act. It is essential. Okay? With this, I will pass it to Eric, who will teach you some mindfulness techniques.
So I'm thinking that this mic doesn't really work.
Does it? Really?
All right. So good morning everyone, my name is Eric. I'm the mindfulness psychologist at Ram Center. So for the past 2 years, I've been spearheading the mindfulness programs and courses at the center, doing a lot in the area of research as well. So really understanding the scientific practice of this whole idea about what mindfulness is and how it can really benefit each one of us. Alright, so let me just share a little definition about what mindfulness is. So I'd like to introduce to you this person. His name is actually called Dr. John Kabat-Zinn. So this is what he said. Mindfulness, if there's one thing you can take away from today's session, it's really about this. It's about the awareness that you cultivate moment to moment. Right? The fact that you are able to notice that you are stressed, that's mindfulness because you are aware, right? That at this point in time you are feeling stressed. Can you hear me? Or you need the mic? Alright, so mindfulness is really about paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, and most importantly, non-judgmentally. Alright, so if I could maybe just explain this a little bit further, the whole idea about mindfulness is, are you aware of what is present for you moment to moment? So at this point in time, are you aware what thoughts are you having? Are you aware how does your body feel against the chair? Are you aware of how your feet is like at this moment in time? Right? So that is the awareness that we are trying to cultivate. All right? So what's really important is this whole idea about non-judgmental. So oftentimes, I think just now my colleague Lily has shared that, we often have a lot of thoughts, right? So it is very quick, for us to judge someone or perhaps judge our experience as either pleasant or unpleasant. And sometimes it can get ahead of us to the extent that we can't really stay present with the person that we are going to care for, right? So that could be your parents, that could be your children, right? So this person here, he is the founder of Mindfulness, or rather, in 1979, so many, many years ago, he actually came out with this course, which is called the Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction. Okay, in short, MBSR. So for the past 30 over years, it has benefited over 23,000 people around the world. And what's so special about MBSR? The key thing about this course is that it helps you to relate better and cope with stress. So when he first came out with this, he was really working in the University of Massachusetts Medical Center, where he worked with many, many patients with chronic pain. So for those of us who know chronic pain, it is something that stays with you for a very long period of time. So you can't really change or get rid of the pain. It kind of be with you. So he was thinking, how can I actually help all these patients with chronic pain, knowing that all the other alternatives that they have tried have not worked for them. So he came up with, perhaps it is really about how do we relate to pain. So it's about how you perceive pain. And that's very powerful, like what you mentioned, it's all up here, right? How do you relate to this experience? So this is how mindfulness came about, and in the recent years, he has gained a lot of popularity. But what I like to say is that mindfulness is not a fad. Right? It's not something like bubble tea or maybe the yogurt. It's more of something that is here to stay. And why do I say that? It's because in recent years, in the past 20 years, scientists have done a lot of research in this area. So there are neuroscientists who done neuroimaging. So they use fMRI to actually scan the brains of people who practice mindfulness for an 8-week period. So the mindfulness-based stress reduction is an 8-week course. So they compared people who never go through the course versus people who went through the 8-week program. And what they found out is very amazing. So I'm going to share that with you in a short while. So this is really the basis for why we want to share with you how mindfulness can really help you. So typically, this is what happens, right? So when we encounter stress, or rather a stressor, so that could be for students, it could be exams, right? I'm sure you all have heard in the report that there was this P5 boy who, because he was unable to cope with the stress of revealing his results to his parents, and he could not take that, and he fell to his death. And it's really tragic. So that's really, a stressor that affected him. And this is the part of the brain, okay, this region over here, which is what we call the amygdala. So the amygdala is a brain part, okay, that we all have, okay, that is to help us to survive. Every one of us have this built-in mechanism to help us to survive day to day. So in the past, it was the threat of the saber-toothed tiger,
chasing after you when you're hunting for food. But these days, like what Lily has mentioned, it's no longer the animal. It's the people, it's the things that's around us that's causing us so much stress. And for the boy, it was the exam, or perhaps meeting the expectations of his parents. That was the stressor for him. And what happens when we encounter a stressor? We realize that this kicks in, all right? So in the limbic region of our brain, the amygdala will actually be activated. And what happens is you realize that there are three things that you will do, right? The first thing is you will either fight back. So sometimes maybe you notice that maybe you speak to your child, or maybe you speak to your parents, or you may notice that certain things that they say may anger you, and because you want to protect yourself, so that's why you say certain things to fight back, right? So it may come across as very negative, perhaps it may come across as maybe very angry, but it's really your own mechanism to keep you safe because you feel threatened, right? Or perhaps maybe we find that we are in a very stressful situation. One thing that we do could be we run away, right? So we escape from the situation. So sometimes it could be the case that I don't want to deal with this stress at this point in time, so I'll run away. I'll remove myself from the situation. But oftentimes, this could also be an alternative response. For example, you freeze. Perhaps you just do not know what to do. So if I could share, about 2.5 years ago, I brought my dad here to Tan Tock Seng. And the reason for that is because he encountered a stroke. Okay, so I was studying NUS, my final year, and I was writing my thesis. So what happened was I realized that my dad actually fell at a void deck. So we brought him back, and they're like, okay, why not we bring him to the polyclinic? Okay, because we noticed that he wasn't his usual self. So I brought him to the polyclinic for him to get a checkup. And I think you may have already realized that waiting time at the polyclinic is really long. So I brought him about like 10 a.m. and about 4 p.m. we were still there. Yeah, like, oh my God, that's really long. That was quite stressful. So, so the doctor and the nurses measured his blood pressure. And to my shock, it was really high. It was almost 200 over. Yeah, so at a point in time, I noticed that he was having difficulty breathing, and that was when the doctor made the call that I think you should bring your dad to the A&E, to the nearest one. And the nearest hospital I could think of, because I stay in Ang Mo Kio, so I could only think of Tan Tock Seng. So I brought him rushing over to A&E, and same thing, we had to wait very long again. And it was almost 11 o'clock at night. That was when we realized that they did a CT scan for him, and they said that he had a stroke. So at that point in time, this was what I experienced. I froze. I didn't know what to do. So I am the youngest child in my family. I have two eldest brothers. But because I'm the more, the caring one at home, yeah, so I'm very concerned, and I was a combat medic during NS. So in a way, I know some medical knowledge, in very fundamental one. So, but even then, with all this knowledge, it didn't help. Because here, my dad was in a hospital, someone very close to me, and he got a stroke. And at that point in time, I didn't even know what stroke was. So that was when, I took out my phone and tried to Google what stroke is, how could this happen to my dad? And exactly what Lily has mentioned just now, what are the thoughts that went through your mind when you're stressed? Pretty much is, how could this happen to my dad? How am I going to take care of him? What is going to happen to him? At a point in time, I almost thought that he wouldn't be able to make it. Yeah, so I was very concerned. So feelings-wise, definitely I was very anxious, didn't know what to do. And can we see the value of mindfulness here? I would say yes. Because if we are able to actually be mindful and practice this over a regular period of time, what happens is you actually strengthen the connection between your amygdala and your prefrontal cortex. Okay, so just to give a very short background, your prefrontal cortex is over here. So the very frontal region of your frontal lobe. Okay, so this is the part of brain that is most developed among humans. Okay, so what it does is helps you to make decisions. Okay, it helps you to plan, it helps you to concentrate, it helps you to pay attention. So this is very important because when we are able to be calm, we are able to respond better. And this is exactly what mindfulness helps us to do. It strengthens the connection between the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. So for example, if my dad were to get another stroke, which unfortunately he did, and in fact he got 3 strokes, so now he's actually bedridden, he is uncommunicative, he is on a feeding tube. And just last night, he kind of, I think, was perspiring a lot, so we didn't know what was happening to him. So I just had to be there until about 1 a.m. by his bed to just calm him down. Because sometimes, because of what happens when you get a stroke, certain part of your brain kind of shuts down, right? So there's some death of certain cells in the brain. So not sure what really went on there. But I think what's really important here is to stay calm, to stay composed, so that you can actually think calmly on your feet, right, and decide what to do next. So when we practice mindfulness, what happens is your prefrontal cortex is a bit like driving a car, right? So when you drive a car, there are 2 pedals. Okay, one is your accelerator. Okay, the other one is your brake. And your prefrontal cortex is like your brake for your amygdala. And so if you notice that you're about to react, shout, or maybe say something, or do something very out of a reaction, your prefrontal cortex will help you put the brakes on your amygdala, and okay, maybe I can pause. Maybe just setting into the breath and notice, what can I do now? What's the best possible solution for my dad at this point in time, right? So there is definitely a lot of value in helping us to actually change the circuitry of our brain. In fact, this is what neuroscientists have found, right? So for people who went through the 8 weeks mindfulness course that I mentioned earlier, they realized that this part of the brain, okay, over here, actually became smaller. Okay, so the gray matter density of the amygdala actually reduced. Okay, so this has a lot of implication because what this means that we are less likely to react, okay, in a very stressed manner. Okay, we are able to be more calm, and this really connects back to the prefrontal cortex, so that we can have a very balanced response. Okay, one that you will not regret. All right. So that was really what helped me in the past 2 years. I was first introduced to mindfulness when I was in my final year. So coincidentally, that was the time that my dad got a stroke. So it really helped me to go through this period, to really notice what am I experiencing. Okay, how can I cope with the difficult emotions that I'm experiencing at that point in time? So in these past 2 years, I found that it really helped me, and I'm glad that I'm here today to share with you how this can help you as well. Yeah. So this is something I'd like to share to you. All you can change is yourself, but sometimes that changes everything. So if you think about it, right, a lot of things we can't really control, right? For example, the weather. You can't really dictate the weather to rain or to have the sun out. But rather, what really is within your control is yourself. So I can't control the fact that my dad already got a stroke. I can't control the fact that he is no longer able to communicate with me. But what I could change is myself. I can change the way of communicating with him. So I explored more creative methods of speaking to him, even though I know that he can't open his mouth and say something that I could understand. So I would say things like, Dad, okay, maybe, are you feeling pain in your legs? If you feel pain, maybe you just blink your eye once to let me know. Right, so that was what he did. So I find that, okay, this way of communication really helps. But if I were to feel stressed and feel frustrated, or perhaps thinking that, why is he like that? Why can't he communicate to me? Why doesn't he want to talk to me? So if I bring a lot of anger, and don't accept the fact that he is already in this condition, then I'll be bringing a lot of frustration and anger towards myself, and perhaps even guilt, right? So I think what we want to share with you is you can be empowered to change yourself, right? To manage all the changes that's around you, So perhaps, things that you are struggling with, perhaps things that you are struggling with communicating with your children, perhaps. So notice how that is like for you. Yeah. So this is where I'm going to introduce an experiential practice. So mindfulness is not only about setting the mind. It's also something that you can do in your daily activities. And one way we can do that is through eating. And I think Singaporeans, most of us, we love to eat. And we pride ourselves for, having a lot of food in Singapore. So my colleague, Lily, she's going to pass to you a bowl with grapes. And I invite you to just take one grape and place it on your palm. Okay, so just hold it first. All right? So remember what mindfulness is? It's about the awareness. What thoughts are you having right now? Perhaps, maybe checking in with the body sensations. How does the grape feel in your hands? All right? So just waiting for everyone to have one grape. So everyone, you are invited to give this a try. Okay? So don't eat it first. Okay, it's okay. I prepared extras. I predicted that would happen. In fact, yeah, it normally happens. So remember what we mentioned about how autopilot all our actions are? The moment sometimes we are given food, before you know it, it's inside your tummy. All right, so has everyone gotten one grape? All right. So can I have one as well? Okay. Okay, so holding this grape between your fingers, I now invite you to look at this grape as if this is the very first time you're looking at it. Okay, so imagine you came from Mars, all right? And in Mars, another planet, there's no such thing as this object. Okay, so you come upon to Earth and you're given this object. So I'm inviting you to just really look using your sense of sight, exploring as many things as you can pick out from this object that you have on your hand right now. Okay, so I'll just go around and just invite you to share what do you see. Okay, what do you see?
Color.
Okay, so you notice the color, and what color is it?
Green. Green.
Okay, so green. Okay, awesome. So just noticing the objective quality of what you notice. What else do you notice?
The shape of the grapes, round.
Awesome. So you notice that the grape is round. Maybe for some of you, is your grape really round? It'd be quite scary, right? If all the grapes are of the same size and same roundness. Yeah, then I would think twice. Okay, yeah, great. Noticing. What is for you?
There's something here.
Okay, so there's something there. Okay, so she noticed that it is not perfect, right? There's some bruise or some scratch in a way to the grape. Yeah, so awesome. How about you, ma'am?
Mine looks like some kind of beauty. Very, very nice, very smooth.
Oh, now this object is beautiful, right? It is smooth, right? So you notice the texture, right? What else? How about you, sir?
For me, instead of looking at it physically, I'm having a feeling the grape is quite cooling.
Oh, okay. So now you are shifting your awareness away from the sense of sight to the sense of touch, right? So you're noticing, it is quite cooling, yeah? Okay, great. So let's stay with the sensation of touch. What else do you notice?
It looks sweet and I'm salivating.
Okay, so it looks sweet. Interesting. So perhaps it could be due to your past experience that maybe, this something that looks nice, round, green, looks sweet. All right, great. How about yourself, ma'am?
First I felt it's cooling and then it's smooth. And I saw some scratch marks which is like a triangle.
All right, so she noticed a few things, right? So she also noticed certain scratch marks. So noticing that, not all the grapes are the same. How about yourself?
I actually shared the same experience as the past who have contributed. To me, I feel that it has got flaws as well. That it's not perfect. Yeah. and maybe it might also what do you call that? Can feel our hunger.
Okay. So noticing that, perhaps this could be an object that could satisfy your hunger. And also knowing that it was almost lunchtime. All right. So just now we explored the sense of sight. So looking at it. We also explored the sense of touch. Okay, noticing that it's cooling and smooth. So noticing how does that evoke in your sensations, your body. So noticing that perhaps it could be sweet, right? So now I would like you to just pick up using both your fingers and maybe just bring it to your ears using your sense of hearing, just rolling it. So noticing there's any sounds or perhaps just no sounds, right? It could have sounds if you squeeze it really hard and the juice come out. Alright, so now just inviting you to place it on your lips, right? So just place it on your lips. So noticing what sensations do you notice when it comes in contact with your lip. Is it cooling? Is it warm? Is it smooth? Right? Noticing that your lips is actually very sensitive as compared to your hands. Okay, you can feel a lot more with your lips as compared to your fingers, right? So now inviting you to just place it on your tongue. Okay, so just placing, not biting yet. If you can hear me, okay? Okay, I'll put it at the side. So noticing what's happening in your mouth right now as this object it lies in your mouth without biting yet. Alright, noticing, how automatic, our actions are. Something goes in, first thing we do. So how many of your grapes are still intact? Oh, good job, you have a prize later. So now, I'll invite you to just take one bite. As you do so, just close your eyes. And then take another bite. So noticing that swallowing action, okay, that transition of the grape from your mouth down the throat. So being aware of all the sensations involved. So just giving you a few more seconds to just savor this grape that you have in your mouth. And as you do so, also inviting you to just be aware of where does this grape come from? How does this grape end up in your stomach? What's the origins of this grape? Perhaps just thinking of where it first originated. So I took a peek at the box. It says USA. So just being aware of, all the work involved, down from the farmer planting the seed of the grape in a very far away country from Singapore, right? And being aware of all the conditions involved, right? The sunlight, the soil, the water, the person involved in, the time involved in growing the grape, someone packing it, right? Flying it to Singapore, right? Putting it in chairs when my colleague bought it, right? And me washing the grapes one by one, making sure it's very clean for you, and my colleague giving it to each one of you, and your own effort in biting it, and perhaps just enjoying this whole process, right? So this is what we meant by mindful eating. So I would just like to take this opportunity to hear from some of you. What's your experience of this short practice? Anyone would like to share? Anything that you notice? Anyone? What what was different as compared to how you normally eat a grape? Anything that you become aware of?
I'm more focused on the process, how it's being processed, planted, and then sent for distribution.
Great. So we become more appreciative, right, of the process of how this grape came about, right? So all the effort involved, and anyone notice that this time round you're eating a bit slower than normally? Yeah? All right. So this is also one technique that you can use. Okay, when you actually slow things down, what you realize is you're more aware of every moment. Okay, as compared to when you eat really fast, right? Before you know it, it's gone, right? You may even forgot that you have eaten a grape, right? So maybe you could be texting and eating a grape, and maybe typing, and maybe watching TV and reading newspaper at the same time. So the practice of mindful eating really allows us to notice our body, notice our thoughts and feelings. And a very important aspect of that is also bringing a sense of appreciation for the food that we have. And this is something that you can carry to other aspects of your life as well, right? Perhaps for myself, when I was going through the difficult period of caring for my dad, and I still am, is having this attitude of gratitude, right? So there's a saying that it says that gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. So that each time that I'm caring for my dad, I notice that it is not a struggle, it's not a pain, but it's really, I am very grateful that he brought me up to who I am today, right? Giving me the opportunity to care for him. So when you view this with a different mindset, a different attitude, you realize that everything can be managed. You can cope with it, right? So this is something that I cannot emphasize enough. Bring a sense of gratitude to anything. Could be the people in your lives, could be yourself as well. Yeah. So this is where I like to end off by sharing with a technique to all of you, and this is what we call the .B technique. Okay, so this is a very useful portable step. Okay, that you can use anytime, anywhere. Okay, and all it takes is perhaps 1 minute or 30 seconds. So the first thing, okay, in this .B technique is, what do you think this is? What does this look like to you? Singapore. Oh yes, yes, almost. Yeah, we are like a tiny red dot, on a world map. But it's also very powerful, isn't it? Right? Where else can you see this? Perhaps as you come to Tan Tock Seng. Sorry? Red lights, right? The traffic light, exactly. So, in fact, you're right. So what do you do when you see the red light? Stop. Very good. So this is exactly what you do. You stop. You stop what you're doing, perhaps noticing that you are already on autopilot eating that grape. Or perhaps you're on autopilot scolding someone, okay, because something triggered you and you feel very unpleasant inside. And this is really the first and also the most important step. So when you're able to notice that you're stressed, that's where you can stop and do something to change yourself, to change that. So the second step is to feel your feet. Okay, and the reason why we do that is because by feeling our feet, it allows us to anchor ourselves in the present moment. A lot of times, the thoughts, the worries, the fears dominates our brain and our mind, and it's all up here. So what can we do to shift the thinking mode to the sensing and being mode? Is by dropping your attention all the way down to your feet. So just maybe for this moment, allowing your attention to go all the way to your feet. So just noticing the contact between your feet and the floor. Right, noticing how that feels like for you. Yeah. Feeling into your toes. Perhaps noticing if there's any tingling sensations in the toes. It doesn't matter if there isn't any. Yeah. And the third step is to feel your breathing. So inviting you to just take in one full breath. So noticing the in-breath, the oxygen going through your nose, down your throat, into your belly, and noticing the out-breath. And the last step of the dot B is for you to be here, to be fully present in whatever that you do. Because when you're fully present, you're giving your 100% attention to whatever that you're doing. All right? So we're going to practice this. So just now you have already practiced a little, but I'm just going to lead a very short practice. So one way of doing it is you can do it standing, you can do it sitting, you can do it lying down, you can even do it in the toilet as well. But yeah, it's really the invitation for you to notice the times that you are feeling stressed, right? And know that, hey, I can use a dot B technique to calm myself down, all right? So inviting you to maybe just put anything you're holding on your lap, just put it on the floor, on the chair. So keeping your lap free, right? So another useful tip is keeping your back upright, okay? So that what you're doing here is you're being aware and awake, right? So having an upright posture, your feet, you can choose to just put it on against the floor. So instead of crossing your leg, which can be quite uncomfortable along a prolonged period of time. So having both your feet on the floor, your hands you can place on your lap or wherever that's comfortable for you. So just inviting you to close your eyes if you like to, or just lower your gaze if that's more comfortable. So the first step is really to stop, right? Just noticing whatever that you have learned in the past few minutes. And the second step is to feel your feet. So very gently allowing your attention to travel all the way down to both your feet. So just noticing the weight and the contact of both your feet against the floor. Noticing your shoes or your footwear. Noticing the heel of both your feet. Can you feel the pressure against the floor? The ankles, your calf muscles, your kneecaps. And just expanding this awareness to your bum against the chair, your buttocks. So feel your body weight being supported as you sit here, feeling strong and supported. We're just relaxing any regions of your body that is feeling any tension. And the third step of the dot B is to feel your breathing right now. So noticing with intention, noticing this in-breath. Really curious. Is it cool or warm? So just staying with this breath, this moment. So just inviting you to just notice the next 3 breaths as best as you can. So just feeling the rise of your belly as you breathe in. Feeling the fall of the belly as you breathe out. And just staying with it. Really gentle, very kind and patient. So the fourth step is to be here. So bring your awareness back into the room. So just wriggling your toes, your fingers, and inviting you to open your eyes when you're comfortable. And remembering to put a nice big smile on your face, right? For giving yourself this form of self-care, right? And also congratulating yourself for coming here today, this morning, to Tan Tock Seng Care Connect. All right, so that's what I have for you today. This is one technique that you can really readily use. And if you like to, we actually prepared a sticker for each one of you. So this is a very good reminder that you can paste on your phone, at times that you're about to react and be stressed. Pause. Smile. Breathe. Right. Okay. So you can take more. Yep. Yes.
Okay, so self-humanizing yourself. Instead of reacting with negative emotion, calm yourself down.
Yeah, so this is really about having that awareness that, hey, maybe you're stressed and you can do something about it. So just dropping your awareness into the body and noticing this breath. Okay, because one breath is something that is like anchor, something that stays with you, that keeps you alive. Yeah? Yes.
Time restriction, we can only allow one more question.
Yes. Is this stop is taking a break?
Yes, it can be a mindful break, right, in your daily life. Okay, so it could be when you're working as well, right? Maybe you're seated, very long typing, just taking a dot B, 30 seconds, and maybe you feel like slightly more refreshed and go back to your work. Yeah, so that's where you come back to the present. Yeah. Okay. So just want to end off with this quote. Contentment is not the fulfillment of what we want, but the appreciation for what we already have in our life. So with that, I thank all of you for coming down and learning a little bit more about mindfulness and how it can be applied in your daily life and caregiving. All right, so thank you very much.